And just a couple of feet from me is where agents discovered that cross-border tunnel that measured about 1,300 feet. Well, the million-dollar question at port of entries like the San Luis port of entry here right behind me is, who's allowed to cross back? Well, not a lot of people know, but the actual size of YPG is the size of the state of Rhode Island. Now, this is still an active investigation, and authorities are trying to figure out what caused that woman in the Cadillac to slam into the RV. The voting centers have been open for several hours now, and you can still come on down and cast your vote for one of the 6 candidates. Food safety should not stop as soon as your food is done cooking. It's also important that once you are done eating, that you get any leftovers into the fridge as soon as possible. Postal Service remains a vital service that reaches every corner of the country. Many that still depend on it are small business owners to ensure that the stuff and products that they sell make it and arrive safely to where they need to go. Thousands of masks are being handed out to essential workers who cross the CALEXICO border every single day for work. The Safe Route for Essential Workers initiative has been made possible through local nonprofits working with Imperial County and Mexicali to provide masks to workers as they cross the border. Non-essential travel at the U.S., Mexico, and Canada borders have been extended for an additional month due to the spread of the COVID-19. Well, those restrictions are now set to expire until October 21st. Joining you at this hour, Hondurans who were in shelters in Mexicali returned to their country after police blocked a recent caravan of Central Americans trying to cross into Mexico. Well, there were 47 Central Americans waiting to reunite with relatives who were part of the caravan. All wanted to seek asylum status in the United States. The late Senator John McCain's mother died on Monday, and his widow, Cindy McCain, announced the news on Twitter. Roberta McCain was a fixture in Washington during her marriage to McCain's father, who was a 4-star Navy admiral during World War II. Senator, you weren't elected by Arizonans, but rather appointed by Governor Doug Ducey after the passing of Senator John McCain. What have you done to say, I get to keep this seat?
I have been giving every single day to fight for Arizonans.
Since the YUMA Catholic Shamrocks prevailed through their early season gauntlet, they have rolled through the rest of the condensed regular season, finishing with an unbeaten record of 7-0. We're going to fast forward now to the second quarter. Off the pass in the flat, Austin Johnson decleats the receiver, causing the fumble there, and Austin Rush picks it up and is off to the races. But the refs call the touchdown back, calling Johnson for a helmet-to-helmet penalty. Worth takes it upon himself for the quarterback keeper, giving the Rocks their 3rd touchdown of the night. Run, Forrest, run! Well, they would go for 2 on the next play. We're about to see that in just a bit, man. Look at them, excited as ever. Una oficial de la policía del centro acusada de atacar a una mujer con la que ella pensaba que tenía una aventura con su esposo regresó a la corte esta mañana. La iglesia Getsemaní en San Luis, Arizona estará regalando 2,000 platos de comida por el Día de Acción de Gracias, y por primera ocasión lo harán del otro lado de la frontera en San Luis Río Colorado, Sonora. Una información de nuestra reportera Laura Mesa. Y 4 personas fueron detenidas en Hermosillo, Sonora, por posesión de drogas. Y surge una alerta en México por el consumo de alcohol y drogas entre los adolescentes y jóvenes. Los expertos aseguran que el encierro y el ocio provocado por la pandemia de COVID-19 es la principal causa de este incremento. Jacibe Pérez nos amplía esta información. Ahora les puedo confirmar que hasta el momento el condado de Yuma ha contabilizado el 50% de los votos, que son como más de 53,000 votos. The rubble and debris still remains on Dee Fugate's property after almost 3 years. She remembers the night her house went up in flames vividly.
All of a sudden, one day I woke up and I didn't have anything. I remember my dog jumping on me and biting my face, trying to get me, and then I see all this fire around me.
After being hospitalized, she came to a home turned rubble and bad news.
I was in the hospital for a while. When I came out, I found out my dog had died, and I miss my dog. She actually saved my life, but a lot of people thought I had died.
But now she faces another challenge: fines if the rubble isn't cleared out in time. Fugate lives on a fixed income and says she doesn't have the resources to clear out debris.
I was ashamed to ask people for help, so I used to sleep in my car.
Since her 30s, Fugate has lived with multiple sclerosis, which has improved over time, but she still lives with certain symptoms of the disease.
I'm a fighter. I just don't want to give up. But the memory part, I guess, that's just a part of MS that I can't control.
Eventually, Dee took matters into her own hands, but they didn't turn out so well.
I started climbing the the roof. I went and got a ladder, started climbing the roof. The first sheetrock or the board that I pulled off the roof, I pulled it up like that and I went down and fell on the ground.
A close friend lent a helping hand, moved in and made an attempt at clearing up as much of what was left of the house.
Things like this come up, you just can't afford to put it out there. It's either you don't have your lights and water and food, or else you clean your place up.
But even then, with the lack of resources and tools, it is just too difficult to clear it all out before fines are imposed. For Dee, this is just one more obstacle she is forced to overcome.
I don't want to die. I want to keep going, There's a lot of things I can still do.
But eventually, every warrior begins to lose strength.
And I can't do it anymore. I can't.
We could probably have it done in one day. And then the city wouldn't be on her, and then we could start on our flower garden that we're going to plant.
It's been labeled as the most sophisticated tunnel in the history of the United States.
We're kind of amazed at the way this tunnel was finished.
A tunnel so sophisticated that it left special undercover agents who were part of the month-long investigation with their jaws dropped. A tunnel fit for a complete smuggling operation pulled straight from a Hollywood blockbuster.
Complete with a rail system, full electric, and a ventilation system as well.
Now, to give you a better idea of how brazen these smugglers are, they built a tunnel that went right underneath the U.S.-Mexico border wall, an area where they have a lot of heavy construction machinery that weighs tons, able to just cave in. An area also where Border Patrol agents drive through every single day. Just a couple of feet from that area, the eye in the sky, watching over the U.S.-Mexico border 24/7.
The tunnel was 200 to 300 yards built into the United States, and it reached under the neighborhood of Los Oliveros.
Agents believe this tunnel was to be used for illegal contraband. It was discovered just a couple of miles away from where another tunnel was discovered back in 2018. But again, agents say Thursday's discovery is of historic proportions.
Length is it was way closer to the border. It didn't have all the components in terms of the ways built. It didn't have the track. So this tunnel was clearly something that they were building for a long-term operation compared to some of the others are not as sturdy and not as complete.
A long-term operation that was shut down. Agents say it will improve the safety of all border communities. Reporting at the U.S.-Mexico border, I'm Christian Galeno.
The only thing that was left was for a child to be raped.
Anthony Greene, just one trucker against child predators. For the past year, Greene has been able to successfully work with local police to place hundreds of predators behind bars by simply using apps like Plenty of Fish and Tag.
I have a decoy who put an ad on an app called Tag, and she stated that she was in town looking to hang out. Within a couple minutes, they'll have a couple hundred people that reach out.
That's how 27-year-old Bruce Parks allegedly drove all the way from El Centro on Thursday night to engage in sexual acts with a 13-year-old at a Love's truck stop in Yuma. Little did he know that the young girl was a decoy set up by truckers against predators.
An hour and a half, he had told her he loved her, he wanted to come and marry her, and he wanted to move in with her.
Video taken by Greene shows the moment police arrest Parks, who police say sent at least one naked picture of himself and even asked the decoy to, quote, help him with a bit of a problem he has in his pants. Greene mentioned in the video that Parks brought wedding rings in hopes of marrying the teen, as well as mentioning to 13 on Your Side that the man allegedly had meth and a gun with him. Parks appeared in court today. Now, the court determined that he was a high risk to public safety and now faces 5 felony charges, including aggravated luring of a minor for sexual exploitation and possession of a dangerous substance. His bond is set at $100,000.
And I had that experience when I was a child. And if there's anything that we can do to help at least just one kid, it's all worth it.